I am here with a Dutch author of a fantasy series that has also been partially translated into English. And introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Tusscher, and I'm a Dutch fantasy author. I started in 2006. I have 13 books so far, and if I heard you correctly, you said partially translated, but the whole trilogy is translated.
And the trilogy, that's your most important work because you've written so many books.
Yeah, it's where it all not where it all started. I had the debut novel, but with this story about Lilith, it's like I gained a lot of fans, and they wanted more. So from this book, more series evolved. So yeah, this is, I think, my most precious and important work for me. Yeah.
Can you give me the elevator pitch in a very brief paragraph? What is the book about and why should I read it?
Well, it's about Lilith, and she's a woman who can change into a dragon. And when she was just a baby, she was kidnapped from her parents and given to a sorcerer who is fighting a war. And well, with the idea if she can become a dragon, you have like a flying flamethrower. So that's a huge advantage on the battlefield. She hates that life, so when she gets the chance, but she did it for like 15 years. On the start of this book, she flees. She ends up on the other side of the line, the fighting line, and they say, "Well, your enemy is our enemy. Fight for us." So it's kind of the same thing. So it's her search about where do I fit in this war that's going on? Where's my place in the world? How can I be true to myself? Things like that.
Are there character traits in Lilith that you recognize in yourself?
Yeah, probably in all my characters, even in the evil ones. So, yeah, it's I now that this has been published a few years ago, I see more of myself in her. It's something I'm constantly doing. Is like, where do I belong in this world, and what's my place, and what do I want, and not what do other people want from me. So yeah, that's definitely an overlap in Lilith and me. Yeah.
Does writing actually, does it also have a therapeutic aspect that it helps you grow or think about life? Or
Yeah, it's a few years ago I would say like no, fantasy is my window to the real world. So it's more like me discovering the world, but through enough distance and metaphors, so I can look objectively to all the themes I use in my books. But I recently understand that it's also more of looking at myself from a distance and seeing how I would react and how I am. So it's both. It's my way of looking around me and experiencing and discovering who I am and how the world is. And yeah.
and your books also are obviously are affecting your readers, and that's one of the beautiful aspects of being a writer is that you are sharing something of your talents with someone who might potentially do something with that. What do you hope that your books affect in other people?
Oh, yeah, I got an email recently, and I can't give any details, but that my books were just changed his life. So I was really like, that I had no words when I read the email. So that's amazing. But that was a very personal story. But I hope that when people read my books, they're more like seeing that everybody has their own truth, and well, what we perceive as evil might also have a good motivation and trying to save the world maybe from their point of view, and so that we can be more nuanced to other people, looking at our differences, but also seeing like, okay, maybe I can learn something from other people, and maybe I should listen to other people and what they are saying instead of acting straight away and just saying, oh, you're the enemy. And so that's, yeah, I hope I can get people closer together, and even if we have differences, we are all the same, I think. So
A very practical question. How is your writing process? Do you have a certain way of writing, or do you just wait for inspiration to hit and then you just give it a go?
oh, I am the worst example of a writer because um, I have this idea for a character, and I sit down and I always think I know somewhat of where the story is going, and then I start writing, and then my characters just go off and go in a completely different direction, and I just follow, and it turns into something amazing, to wonderful stories. But it's like, yeah, sometimes I think there is like my subconscious already knows the story and I have to discover it. But because there are so many things that are magically right in what I am writing, that I have a 7-book series, and there are things that I just randomly put in book 1 that I need in book 7. And so there's, I don't know, it's just like
It's almost
organic, intuitive, and chaotic. That's how I would describe my writing process.
but the proof is in pudding. It works, and you did write all those books.
Yeah, and that's the beauty. It's like I struggled a long time with like, oh, I have to change this. I have to plot because I'm writing series, so I have to know what I'm doing, and I have to write in a different way. And after 13 books, I know this is my way, and it works, and I can trust this subconscious of mine, and I can trust myself that I can write good stories. So it's okay. I don't have to know everything about the story. If I reach the last part of the series, it will make sense and it will be something good again. So that's a good thing that I can trust myself now.
Oh, yeah, and that's a quality to be able to surrender to the creative process and trust yourself, because it's all about trusting yourself.
And I can see that now. That's something I have to treasure, and that's a good thing. And
If there were any aspiring writers watching this, what would you recommend them? Do you have some tips on how to get started? Because a lot of people would love to write. They participate in NaNoWriMo, you know, they want to, and then after day 5, they're completely stuck, and it's like, oh, what was I thinking? What would you tell them?
well, don't listen to other writers telling you what to do. No.
Okay, I'm out of here.
No, but it is basically a very important tip, because a lot of there's so much advice going around on the internet. Just like I said, I was thinking I should change my way of writing, because I read everywhere if you're writing a series, you should block your stories, and that's the only way you can do it. But that's not true. I think if you're going to do NaNoWriMo, just have fun. Just write the scenes that are in your head. You don't have to start at page 1 and end with the final battle scene or something. If you have this amazing battle scene in your head and that is the final, write that first and just see what comes out. And then after you have some more experience, you also learn, oh, I need to improve this or that. And then you can find information on how to improve that. But don't try to get all these advices and then get lost in the writing because you don't know what to do anymore.
You get perfection paralysis also, right? It's just get start.
Yeah, and it's especially in the Netherlands, it is a bit, you can't make a living from writing. It's very hard. So, and the writing process takes over a year before you finish a book. So you have to have fun with it, and you don't have to worry about a lot of things. So that's the most important thing. You enjoy the story, the characters, and then if other people enjoy too, that's a bonus.
Thank you so much for all your good advice, and thank you for sharing your story as an author. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much for having me.